Hi and welcome back to my channel. So this week's coaching video, as I promised you last week, is going to be part 2 of when it's time to go. So today I'm going to be giving you 8 steps to take to get out safely and hide. And this information again comes from the domesticshelters.org. I'll leave the information in the description box below. So a safety plan is important to think about when a survivor is ready to leave their abuser. So part 1 of this article talked about that, and that was from last week. So I'll link that below so you can check that out in case you missed it. So the following are 8 important points to keep in mind when you're ready to escape your abuser. Number 1, practice different ways to get out if you have to leave in a hurry or if you have to leave while your abusive partner is at home. Okay? Number 2, think about any weapons in the house and ways you could possibly get them out of the house before you leave. Why is that important? Well, because if you're running out your house to your car, you don't want your significant other reaching for that gun that's in the top drawer in the kitchen on the left. Because guess what? I think he's going to get to you with that gun before you make it to the car. Probably. Okay, so figure out how you can get rid of any weapons in the house. Number 3, consider what time of day is best to leave. If you can leave when your abuser is not at home, this is your safest option. If you can't, then think about alternative times to leave, such as when you're taking out the trash, walking the family pet, or going to the store. Again, practice these scenarios. But you want to practice because why? Practice makes perfect. Because when that time comes, you don't have time to stand and go, "Oh my God, what should I do?" You've got to act and move. Number 4, think about 4 places that you could go. These may include a domestic violence shelter that you can locate through domesticshelters.org, the house of a trusted friend, a coworker that the abuser does not know, or another safe location such as a hotel or shelter in a different city. Okay? Number 5, throw your abuser off your trail. The domestic violence hotline suggests survivors may consider creating a false trail. If there's time, okay, and it's only if there's time, to do this, you can call motels, real estate agencies, and schools in towns that are at least 6 hours away from where you're planning to go. Ask questions that require them to call you back at your house so that your abuser may believe this is where you're going. Y'all, when I saw that, I thought, wow, that's awesome, because I never would have thought about that. So call these places so they'll have to call you back, because chances are, excuse me, your abuser is going to check that call log, and he's going to call back some of those numbers, and he's going to say, oh, okay, I know where she's going, and he's going 6 miles way out of his way, and you only went 6 hours way out of his way. You only went 3 hours away or 2 hours away. So I love, love, love that. Number 6, and this is important, you guys, don't underestimate your abuser. Abusers are intent on controlling survivors' lives. When abusers feel a loss of control, such as when a victim leaves, the abuse can increase. This is why it's especially important to take extreme cautions before and after you leave. If possible, secure an order of protection. Let me put a pin right there. I am all for getting an order of protection, but can I just honestly say that really that's just a piece of paper. If that man or that woman really wants to get to you, honey, that piece of paper is not going to stop them. That piece of paper is for honest folks, but still get it nonetheless. Just keep in mind that is not going to keep that person from coming around you, because see, they don't care about that piece of paper. They care about continue to control you. Make sure your phone hasn't been hacked by your abuser. If it's feasible, consider acquiring a new cell phone. I shared that with you guys last week, so you cannot be tracked. If you can't afford one, see if you can borrow one from a friend for a while. Or, here's another thought. Ask a friend to add you on their plan. Just get a basic phone. You can go to Target and Walmart, and they have their Go phones, but you can just use it for for your phone service. All you need is put your SIM card in those phones. But if you can, ask a friend to add you onto their line just so that you can have it when you get ready to leave. Take steps to protect your identity. Consider changing your children's schools, and if you can, change your work hours. If you're staying in the same city, use different stores and frequent different social spots. This is so important because you know what? We become creatures of habit. And if you always go to the corner pub on Friday night, guess what? Your significant other is going to be right there looking for you. You may not show up for 2 Fridays, but he's going to keep coming until he runs into you. So change up where you hang out. Number 7, find emotional support by reaching out to a domestic violence advocate either in your area or through a national hotline. There are so many of them out there. So please do that. You don't have to do this alone, even if your support system isn't clear. Reach out to these organizations. That is what they're there for, to help you. Number 8, finally, don't hesitate to call 911 if you feel you are in danger at any point during or after the time you leave. That is so important. You must do that to protect yourself. Okay? So today I shared 8 steps to take to get out safely and hide. And this was all given by the domesticshelters.org. I gave you part 1 last week, and I will link that in the description box so that you can check that out if you didn't get a chance to see it. And so those 8 things were: number 1, practice different ways to get out if you have to leave in a hurry or if you have to leave while your abusive partner is at home. Number 2, think about any weapons in the house and ways you could possibly get them out of the house before you leave. Number 3, consider what time of day is best to leave. Again, only you are going to know that. Number 4, think about 4 places that you could go. And preferably, these are places that your abuser has no idea that you know about. You know what I'm saying? So if it's a shelter that he doesn't know anything about, or if you've got friends and family that he's never met, go to those places. But by God, please don't go to some place that he knows, okay? Number 5, throw your abuser off your trail. Love this. Call some real estate companies about properties and talk, what did I say? Hotels and schools and everything, and all that other kind of good stuff that are like 6 hours away from where you plan on going, and make sure they have to call you back, because I guarantee you, when your abuser is looking for you, him or her, they're going to go through that phone log and see who's been calling you. Preferably the house phone, okay? And they're going to start calling these places back. And so you want to make sure you throw them clean off your track. You want to have them going so far to the left that they don't see that you actually went right. Number 6, don't underestimate your abuser. Please, 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 if you don't remember anything I told you today, do not underestimate your abuser, because they are much smarter than you think, and chances are they're thinking at least 2 steps ahead of what you're thinking right now. So that means you need to be thinking 4 steps ahead. Okay? So, number 7, find emotional support by reaching out to a domestic violence advocate either in your area or through a national hotline. Number 8, finally, don't hesitate to call 911 if you feel that you're in danger at any point during or after the time that you leave. Okay? All of these things will be in the description box, so don't worry about trying to take notes to remember what I said. I just need you to understand that if you have been in an abusive relationship, it's time that you leave, but you must prepare. You cannot just go off half-cocked, as they say, because you'll mess up every time. Prepare, 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 so that you can leave and stay safe. If you have kids, keep them safe. And as I said in my last video, if you're watching this video and you are an abuser, you need to seek some help. You need to seek help, because I guarantee you that while you're making that person's life miserable, your life is probably miserable as well. And that comes from somewhere deep within, and you need to fix that. See, we're not abusive just because we don't have anything else better to do. That's been ingrained in you. You've seen it, or you've had it happen to you, or a combination of both. So I need you to go get the help that you need so that the people around you can feel safe and want to stay in your presence. As always, you know you can always reach out to me if you need to. Let's talk.